Good morning, boys and girls. We're going to be learning about multiplying mixed numbers today. I want to first start with to talk about a misconception that is often made that students make. Students want to multiply the whole numbers and then multiply the fractions. Do not do that. Let me show you what I mean on a mixed number. So if I had 2 and 1/3 times 1 and 3/5, I know it's about 4 because this is about 2 and that's 2. So my answer should be around 4. So this is incorrect, by the way, but this is what some kids want to do. They take the whole numbers 2 times 1 and they put 2. They do 1 times 4 and they get 4. And then they do 3 times 5 and they get 15. 2 and 4 fifteenths. My estimate was 4, so something's not right. Okay? That is because that is not how you multiply mixed numbers. Okay? We will practice during this lesson. Okay, so actually you can't multiply fractions that are mixed numbers. You have to make them improper. Okay, so 2 and 1/3 would be changed to 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 makes 7 thirds times 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 make 8 fifths. And then you multiply across. 7 times 8 is 56 and 3 times 5 is 15. Then I have to make that back into a mixed number. Now 15s are easy to count to because I think of a clock. 15, 30, 45, 60. So it can't be 4, so it has to be 3. So, and then when I take 3 15s, it's 45. I'll have 11 left out of 50, and then add a 15. Now, that is the division problem, right? 56 divided by 15. So 3 and 11 15ths is my answer. Now I compare that to my estimate, which is 4. That's pretty close to 4, so it makes sense. So these are the steps you follow when you multiply mixed numbers or when you multiply a mixed number by a whole number. You have to use improper fractions. So first we're going to make 5 and 3/4 improper. So you times 4 by 5 and get 20, and you add 3, you get 23 over 4. Okay, 6 is an improper fraction. So I have to make it equal to 6. And improper, I have to use the identity property and divide it by 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Okay, so 5 and 3/4 we change to 23 over 4, and we're timesing 6 over 1. And then you multiply across. 23 times 6 is 138. And 4 times 1 is 4. Now I have a division problem, right? So 5 and 3/4, I like to write it underneath. They do it side by side for the textbook. But when I multiply, I get 138 over 4. Now it says to rewrite as a mixed number. So I have to divide 4 into 138. Okay, so 3, that's 12. I subtract 4 goes into 18 4 times. And then there's going to be remainder 2, right? So now I have to make that into a mixed number. So that would be 34. The remainder is 2, and the denominator is 4. And then it says to simplify it. So I know 2 is half of 4. It simplifies to 34 and a half. Let's do an estimate real quick. This is about 6, and 6 times 6 is it's going to be about 36, right? So I look at my answer, 34 and a half. I compare it to my estimate, 36. It makes sense. Let's look at this real world problem. If Jacob is building a shed with the dimensions shown below, what would the area of the shed be? I remember from 4th grade that area is equal to the length times the width, right? The length is 8.5, the width is 3 5/6. So we're going to put the problem, word equation, length times width, and we're going to find the area after we times these two mixed numbers. So we have 8 and 1/3 times 3 5/6. 3. Okay, so this is about 8 and this is about 4. So my answer should be about 32. Okay, so now make these improper fractions. That 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1 make 25 over 3. And I'm timesing it by 6 times 3 is 18 plus 5 is 23 over 6. Okay, and now I multiply the tops and then the bottoms. When I times 25 by 23, I worked it out over here. I got 575. And then I have to divide it by 3 times 6, which is 18. Now it's a division problem, right? 575 as a mixed number, 31. The remainder is my numerator, and my denominator is my divisor. 31 and 17/18. 17/18 is almost 1. Added to 31, I get about 32. And I check to see if that makes sense according to my estimate. 32, it does. It checks. The area is 31 and 17/18. Let's look at this example. If we have 4 1/5 times 1/2, and we have to multiply it. So if I'm multiplying this by a number that's less than 1, if it was 4 1/5 times 1, I know it'd be about 4 1/5, but since it's not, I know my answer has to be less than 4 1/5. It has to be less than the other number. So let's go ahead and multiply these. 4 1/5 times, okay, make this improper, and that would be 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 make 21 over 5 times 1/2. Let's times across. 21 times 1 is 21, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now you have to make this mixed number. How many 10s into 21? 2, and we have 1/10 left over. And we know this is in lowest terms because 1 is in the numerator. And I compared to, I knew it's going to be less than 1 4/5. Here's some examples. 1 1/3 times 2/3. Well, I know it's going to be less. This is going to be less than 1 1/3 because I'm not timesing it by at least 1. So I have to make this an improper fraction as 4/3. And then we're going to times it by, and we get 8/9. These are 1 away from each other, so I know I'm done. I knew it was going to be less than 1. So I'm put my answer as 8. All right, let's look at this one, 2/5. So that's less than 1. I'm timesing it about 2 3/4. So I know my answer is going to be less than 2 3/4. Okay, so we're going to bring 2/5 down, and we're going to times it by this mixed number, which is 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3, make 11 over 4. And then we times across. That would make 22 over 20. And this would equal 1 2/20. That simplifies to 1 1/10. I know it's now simplified because 1 is in the numerator. I knew it was going to be less than 2 1/4. I'm done.